Hello, my name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. And today I wanted to talk about a young man. Goodness, he's not a young man, but he's younger than me. So a young man in the news lately, unhappily, Prince Andrew of England. So here he is. He's getting ready to have a birthday. 19th of February 1960. He was born at 3:30 p.m. in London. He's a moon phase 21. Maybe let's review a moon phase 21. Okay, here it is, up here. And this rectangle of phases is all about finishing up and starting out. These two, 7 and 21, are finishing up their quarter. 7 is Master of Earth, and the 21 is the culmination of the growth of the intellect, the creation of the intellect. So, and 23 and 23 and 9 are to get off their high horses and move out into the world with their technical abilities, physical talents, to do something wonderful. They're very talented people. John Lennon is here. And Mick Jagger is here. So, the moon phase 21, look where they are. They're at the end of this air quarter, where the intellect is created by utilization of power, the power of the intellect, of course, which is the only power humans have. So, 15 is the birth of, this is a self-created ideal person. This is a newly created ideal person, built to his own specifications. And phase 16, the ideal person is to create an ideal life. And in 17, that ideal person creates ideal thought, books. It's an action. It's an action. This tends to be basically stable, and here we move into action. At moon phase 18, the ideal is abandoned because it's done its job, it's created you, and it's given you all these talents. Now 18 picks one of those talents and focus it out into the world to do something, to state something, to change something. Remember, these guys tend to be politicians or people who, theoreticians. Phase 19 is benefits from phase 18's work, and they're both minds, the right brain and the left brain, or the logic and the subconscious, are focused outward into using power, utilization of power, because when those two brains come together, kabam, that is a fusion that is very powerful. And so moon phase 19 are maybe insecure about it, but they are powerful people. Moon phase 20 is not insecure about it. It's just, notice that it's Sagittarius, Sagittarius, and Sagittarius, Aries. And this is called the judge. And they push the boundaries. They are known to excess. Hitler's an example. And so phase 21, after having lived through a 19, which is learning to use its power and generally misuses it until it gets it under control. Phase 20 will often just push it right off the edge of the world. It's just often does not know when to quit, and that's its issue, is to develop standards for itself. So 21, looking back on those 2 moon phases, has figured out that the best way to be in the world is to be honest and straightforward. Okay, so you would think that, and it makes fine people, I think, but they have a small... Yeats felt that they might be slightly embarrassed at being such good people, and so they had to have some little flaw so that they would feel more normal. And that flaw is sex. It's indiscreet, blatant, or even, well, it's risky. 21 is known for risky sex. I don't know about the women. I know quite a few men, and it worked for them. Bill Clinton comes to mind. I don't know about Churchill. He may have been just too busy. So anyway, so Prince Andrew is a moon phase 21, and he is a poster child for the difficulty that moon phase 21 faces, which is to control themselves. To control themselves. And not play dangerous games. Let's look at Prince Andrew. Okay, I have a time chart. So 12 Leo rising, Uranus rising in at 19 Leo, Pluto following at 5 Virgo. The North Node is here in the 3rd house at 25 Virgo. Neptune is here in the 4th house at 9 Scorpio, Moon at 26 Scorpio, Jupiter at 28 Sag in the 5th. And he's got the stellium of Saturn, Mars, and Venus in Capricorn in the 6th house of being in service to other people. Chiron here is at 28 in the 7th, 28 Aquarius. And the Sun is 0 Pisces in the 8th house. Mercury at 17 Pisces in the 8th. South Node up there in Pisces at 25 degrees. Fortuna, 7 Taurus, and it just, Fortuna's on the midheaven. It shows his exalted status. So here's another rich man born in a castle without enough guidance. Without a... it'd be hard to guide this boy. I mean, Uranus is in the 1st house, and its aspects are negative. It doesn't have any positive aspects that will help it feel good. It just is in rebellion. In rebellion. It's so okay. The Neptune is square the ascendant, and the Uranus is square the moon. It's just a little out, confusing me. And the moon is square the sun. So we've got that sort of a T-square there. Yeah, it's wide. Never mind. So he's gotten himself in trouble because it has come out that he has been he and Jeffrey Epstein, who provided him with underage, very young girls, to the abject and horror of everybody. And Epstein is died in jail, so they don't have Epstein's testimony, and a lot of very rich men, very powerful men, are glad. So here we have the typical, here in the 3rd house is his North Node in Virgo, which says go to school and study and get good at something. Virgo. Become good at something. And it would have helped him to, what Virgo does is when you devote yourself to some kind of study, it helps you across the board. One thing it would do to this guy it would help his ego. His ego has been hurt badly. He's got, let's look at Chiron at 28 Aquarius there. And that just shows the alienation from other people. The whole 7th house of partners is Aquarian, and it runs into the 8th house, which you get Aquarius or Uranus in the 8th house, and you're going to find something unusual there. And I'm using the word unusual kindly. He's got that Chiron, that alienation from the world. Now, Moon phase 21 tends to be alienated. You know, they're up there in their mind. This guy has never developed his logical mind, so he's still running on his subconscious. He's not... and the subconscious is ruled by the moon, and that moon is in Scorpio, and a moon in Scorpio tends to be easily hurt. They tend to be suspicious, secretive, and easily hurt. The guy with the Uranus in the 1st house, though, he's going to do what he wants to do, and there's not much you can do about it. Let's look at his father. Is ruled by Venus. It's over there at in the 6th house in Capricorn. His mother's ruled by Aries, and she is in Aries, and so Mars rules that, and that too is in the 6th house. But and his Saturn is there. So that powerhouse in the 6th house, he has a certain amount of work to do. But he's a party animal. Let's look at this Neptune. The Neptune trine the Sun. The Uranus square the Moon. And the Jupiter in the 5th. The Jupiter which is square the nodes. And what's it got? Oh, and it's got a sextile. Yeah, sextile to the Sun. A trine to the Sun. Sorry. Is that right? No, it's a sextile. Okay. It's awkward because it's 0 and it's the sextile is actually to the Chiron, but the Sun is conjunct the Chiron, and the Sun casts, as you know, a big shadow. It will catch aspects, 10 degrees to either side of it, and so that aspect allows him to just take off. He doesn't have a steady job. He does not have a steady job. Mom and Dad are over there working. He's expected to be over there working, but he's down here playing. Or the Pluto, the military. The sexuality, it looks to me like this Sun is opposite the Pluto, and at it's 5 degrees off. Now you can, when you get an opposition or a square, look at how far off they are, and if this is 5 degrees off, so that's 5 years. At 5 years of age, something happened to him of a sexual nature that I would think it caused him shame. And caused him to be embarrassed about the body. That's his horoscope. So that fed into the alienation that he's got from general run of people. from normal folk. Although he doesn't feel like he fits in the rich folk either. He doesn't fit in. The only time this guy is happiest, I think, is when he's having sex. The Sun and the Mercury in the 8th house. And the leading planet is Venus. I want to feel something. I want to feel something. Rub me all over. So I don't know. The poor guy. He's. I always looked at the way people are raised and think, oh my God, my God. He's got a tradition that he is following, and that is of men who can get away with anything. And it's been true for 1,000 years. I don't know how long his line is, but the line is full of men like this. Men who have power, who have money, and don't have to be useful. There's a demand that he be useful. Look at that loaded 6th house, that he be useful. And his ego suffers because he's not useful. But he's a party animal, and he's getting pretty old, pretty set in his ways. God knows what the family will do. The firm will do to him. His money is pretty much dependent on his working for the firm. And so I don't know how much more work he'll be doing for the firm. I know he enjoyed the military, although it scared him. He's competent. He would be real competent. If he picked up something that if he did his Virgo thing, he would be a help to the world. Maybe next lifetime. No, next lifetime he'll be at 22, and that's probably be 22 unless he has to do 21 over again. Yeats said that happens. He said it can happen almost anywhere, in almost any phase, that the person may have to do it over again, except for phase 26, which is you only have to do once. And I know a couple of 26s that would agree that that's a good thing. Well, so that's Prince Andrew. It occurred to me, I did his progressions. And his progressed ascendant is 25 degrees of Virgo. So then I thought, well, that's interesting. So I did his solar return. Now, the solar return, is the chart you do for when the sun gets back to the exact degree that it was in when you were born. And that'll mark out the whole year. And you can actually say, kind of guess what's going to be happening as, you've got, okay, suppose this was his solar return. This would be the first month. There's his birthday. So this would be his first 30 days, second, third 30 days, fourth 30 days. And you can say, you can kind of plot it around the wheel. I did a solar return for a woman who had Neptune right here, where he has Neptune, but it was on the nadir. It was on the IC. And when the time got right, and this 4th house was brought to the fore, her plumbing erupted, and it had to be changed at great expense. So, yeah, and it was Neptune in Scorpio. That's plumbing for you, yes? Okay, well, there's Prince Andrew. He's going through a tough time, and it looks to me like he deserves it. And I hope he learns, Hope he does his Virgo thing. I mean, he's got his North Node. He's got his progressed ascendant. And he's got his solar return Mercury in get to work. It's time you did something. That you did something creative. Anyway, I hope he makes it through. For Queen Elizabeth's sake, she's getting old. Too many blows were going to hurt her. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I'm still wearing my mask. I hope you're still telling the people you love that you love them. It's so important right now. Take care. Bye-bye.